down, down. I look at it and I just am drawn to it.
It's considered the plane that changed travel around the world.
1, 2, 3.
Artist Jeff Barlow was a child when the 747 came out.
Every time that plane gets to the end of the runway, I'm like, come on, lift off, and it does.
He keeps a sketchbook with him wherever he goes.
I love to draw with a pencil. It has an energy to it that nothing else has.
Now sitting under Boeing's first superjet, he's been sketching the last 747 for Boeing as it prepares for delivery.
Well, the 747 for sure. It's my favorite plane in the whole world.
Let's walk back through the airplane here.
Seattle Museum of Flight docent Thomas Gray remembers watching the 747's first test flight.
It's a very easily flyable airplane.
And all of a sudden you see this huge mass in the air. It was just unbelievable. This was one of the earlier models.
More than 50 years later, Gray guides museum goers through this massive plane.
Of course, here's the brains of the airplane.
Telling the history of how this plane came to be.
It was an incredible story.
It took 50,000 men and women to design and complete the 747. They were deemed the Incredibles.
Thousands of men and women that actually spent their heart and soul in conceiving and building this airplane.
Would you say that you put your heart and soul into it as well?
I'd like to think so.
Before the museum, Gray was a test flight engineer for Boeing.
We were the data gatherers for the 747 test airplane.
The patch on his jacket, #1 for the #1 747.
At the time, we were doing a job.
February 25th, 1969, Gray went on one of the first test flights.
But it wasn't until the 747 actually went into service that we realized that it was going to be a game changer in the world.
Not only did this jet make it economically feasible for average people to fly, but they could go wherever they wanted in the world.
It just captured the world's imagination, and that was the source of that was right here in our area.
This plane put Western Washington on the map as an aviation powerhouse. Boeing employed thousands of people growing the community. In late 1969,
I think I was 32 then.
Ebony magazine published this picture of Gray working on the jet.
When it first came out, the press called it jumbo. They called her jumbo. They've called her wide body. Boeing called her the superjet.
The name she's most known by came a bit later and stuck.
The Queen of the Skies is the proper nomenclature for this airplane.
The Queen of the Sky is no longer in production. Her delivery and eventual last ascent from Everett on the horizon.
Sad isn't quite the right word because, I think part of the magic is that it's finite.
With the last shadowing finished, Barlow is intent on documenting the final 747 as it's delivered.
It just feels really, really important to me.
It was quite a thrill to be on a 747.
The Queen of the Sky is expected to fly for many more decades.
So I just keep looking up to the sky and hoping I see another one.
Boeing tells me the 777 is taking the place of the 747. More than 1,500 747s were produced. Tomorrow, the last 747 will officially be delivered, and then on Wednesday, it'll take flight, leaving Everett for the last time. In the studio, I'm Kristen Goodwillie, King 5 News.